Welcome to the madness!
A long-lived peace is over. The Emperor of Palamcia has summoned monsters from hell to begin his campaign for world conquest. A rebel army arose in the kingdom of Fynn to stop the Empire. However, Castle Fynn has fallen, and the rebels escaped to the town of Altair. 4 youths from Fynn, their parents killed by the Empire, flee from the poor Imperial forces. Hey folks, how's it going? Today is Deathy and welcome to Final Fantasy II for the Nintendo Entertainment System, and I'm just going to go to here to get to our main menu. How is everybody doing today? Okay, so we're finally here with Final Fantasy II. Now this is the Japanese second in the series, Japanese version of the second game in the series. Now the reason why I say the Japanese version is because there was a Final Fantasy II in the American video library, I think that's the best way to say. In the library of the NES version, there was a Final Fantasy II. However, there's a bit of a cock-up between releases because Final Fantasy II back then is now labelled as Final Fantasy IV. That's the one with Cecil, Rosa, and Sid, by the way. That'll be later on down the line. So, the whole premise of it was Final Fantasy I, which we played a couple of years ago on the channel, which was an amazing series, by the way. I should recommend checking that out. Basically, both of them came out at the same time in Japan and America, but then Final Fantasy II, a Final Fantasy III, was in Japan only. But then when Final Fantasy IV got released in Japan, they decided to release that into America. But instead of calling it Final Fantasy IV, because people were thinking, what happened to 2 and 3, they labelled it as Final Fantasy II. Now, they did the same again with Final Fantasy V being a Japanese release only, but then when they released Final Fantasy VI, again, they did the same thing and called it Final Fantasy III. But then once Final Fantasy VII came out, the one that everybody knows on PlayStation 1, they released it as Final Fantasy VII, and then basically everyone was like, what the hell's going on? But by that time, the internet was out, and all I had to do was a quick lot of research, and boom, the Western world found out that they missed quite a few games. But for good reason, because Final Fantasy II, as well as 3, its sequel, and 5, are dubbed some of the hardest in the main series. And I don't think a lot of people would like the challenge. That's what the Japanese thought anyway. I mean, maybe that's what I assume. I might be talking a load of bollocks here, but yeah. So anyway, that's the history lesson over and done with. So now we're playing Final Fantasy II. So the whole story of Final Fantasy II is basically kind of similar to Final Fantasy I, where you have a set of heroes that go out to try and destroy whatever evil entity is there. In the first game, it was all about a little bit of the 4 fiends. Sorry, in the first one, it was all about the 4 fiends controlling the crystals. And there was a guy called, I forgot what his name is now. God damn it, that's going to annoy me, but I'll put it in the top right hand corner. But basically, this guy went back in time to try and harness the power of the crystals. That's basically the whole premise of it. This one is about defeating an evil emperor. Now, here's a little thing. I've not played Final Fantasy II in a very, very long time. So the story for me is going to be a little fresh. It's going to be a bit semi-blind. I do remember certain parts of the game, like what to do, how to do, and what we need to do. But for the most part, in terms of the story, yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a reminder for myself. But as far as I'm aware, we're playing 3 main characters from the story of Fynn. I believe we're playing 3 people. 2 people, a guy called Thier, a girl called Maria, and a guy called Guy. And we are to play those 3, and throughout the course of the game, we will get a guest 4th character that will come and go, and each with different abilities and different equipment. It's got a unique story development system called a password system, where basically during each box of text we have to copy any passwords or any words that stand out, and then we're to use these keywords at different intervals to progress through the story. And it has a very unique character development system. Now, before I carry on, I have to say something, because I'm playing a hacked version. I am playing something called Final Fantasy II Restored. Now, the original Final Fantasy II on the NES, which I was going to play, is riddled with a lot of bugs, right? It's riddled with a lot of bugs. Some bugs you can work around with. It's not going to do much to hinder the experience, but there's some bugs that I don't remember off the top of my head. So with this hack, basically they've taken all the bugs that hindered the game and they pretty much restored it to a very playable status. Now, I haven't tested out the I've not tested out the hack in practice. This is actually my first time playing it, just loading it up. So we'll see if they keep an effect or not. I do have a webpage that explains the differences of all the changes they have made to make it better and more playable. So I'll leave that in the description down below if you want to check it out. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, get yourself comfortable. This is going to be a hell of a good series. And yeah, this is going to be challenging because, again, the original challenge is there. They have not touched the challenge whatsoever. This is going to be hard. So we'll see what happens. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, please pull up a chair, get yourself comfortable. Let's play some Final Fantasy II. Let's go. Okay, so by the way, if you're wondering, I am playing this on the Messen emulator, EMSEN, and I am playing the hack version I mentioned, Final Fantasy II Restored. Right, let us go. Okay, so the first guy is Furion. So if I remember, it's F-I-R-I-O-N. That's correct. Now, this second person, this is not Guy. This is another person that they are friends with. This is called Leon. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, this restored version makes it where you name Leon as the second character. Originally, it was Furion, Guy, Maria, then Leon. But this time, it's Furion, Leon, Maria, and Guy, I believe. I don't know why I've gone all caps there, but it's fine. Leon. This is Maria. Maria. And finally, Guy. Okay then. Let us go. Oh. Black Knights. Ambushed. Jesus, well that's a way to start the story. That's a way to start the story. It doesn't matter. Go on, Mira, go on. Saw him out. Or not. She's dead, that's it. Nope. That's how things begin. Hilda.
Will he live?
Yes. I sense a strong life force within him. You should wake up soon.
We found him gravely injured when we fled from Fynn.
Fynn. Let him be for now. The sigil will strengthen him.
Yes, let's join the others. If the Empire competes the Dreadnought, the building, and Bathsk, the attack will begin in earnest. We can't sit idly by and watch. We must act.
Yep. So basically,
Where am I? Where is everyone? Leon! Maria! Guy! Pence! Olette! Vivian? You're alive! I thought you... Maria, Guy, where's Leon?
Princess of Fynn saved us, but Leon not here.
I see. I'm sure he's safe.
You're all okay?
Good. Thank you, Your Highness. Please, let us join the rebel army. I can't allow that. You would only be throwing your lives away. You need to return home. But we have no homes. Not anymore. The Empire attacked, and our parents. I'm truly sorry. You're welcome to stay here in Altair. If you know our password, you should be able to get by well enough. The password is Wild Rose.
The password is Wild Rose. So this is what I mean by the keyword system or the password system. So every time we see a bit of text that's in brackets, basically we go down to learn, and then we learn the password. We also have some other things as well. We have the ask system and the item system. The ask system allows us to use the words that we learned to gain a little bit more information on that word, or that word will carry on with the story progression text. The Wild Rose is the insignia of the Kingdom of Fynn. Maria, your brother Leon is missing. I think he's being held in Fynn. But Fynn is now prowling with the Empire's beasts. Everything won't be easy. Yeah, of course we have items as well, because sometimes items are used to progress the text as well. So your Minwu, proceed to Fynn. It will be your first step towards fulfilling your fate. Wild Rose? Ah, you know the password. Heed well the information it will bring you. That's the voice I'm trying to use for him. I just couldn't think what's the voice I wanted. Okay, so now we can walk around this castle here. Paloom lies east. We can't get there without a canoe. This is the meeting room. This is the meeting room. Some NPCs have the same text. Nothing there. Off to Fynn! What idea? The city's crawling with the Empire's monsters. You'll be lucky to make it up to Grudtree up north. Yep. So yeah, so we have some other places we can visit as well. Okay, so should we? Okay, so how should I progress with things? Okay, yeah, let's explore the place first, and then I'll talk about how things are gonna go. I think this room is the King's room. This is his King's room. His Majesty was greatly wounded in the flight from Fynn. An arrow struck me. My daughter Hilda is in charge now. So the king's wounded and the princess is taking over the resistance. That is actually a term that is used quite a bit in the Final Fantasy series, resistance. And I believe this is the princess's room as well. Fast one. I just want to check to see how things are on the recording. Things look okay-ish, I think. Okay, right, sorry about that. Just had to, I had a little quick check on OBS to see if everything's okay, and yeah, as you noticed, I forgot to mention we got the little border going on in the picture in the background, just because this isn't exactly a 16:9 game. This is a 4:3, so I'm just doing what I can to make things a little bit more flary, if you will. Okay, so getting back into it. Okay, so right, so here in this place we do have some places we can do. Oh great, let's actually head off with the text in a minute. Right, let's try that out. Oh, it's gonna be teething problems. Again, I didn't want to do this off screen because I didn't want to, ruin the experience or anything for myself. Alright, you're in the rebel hideout of Altair. Yes, we are. Princess Hilga escaped to this town while Fynn was sacked. So she's leading the rebels while the king recovers. Yep. So by talking to the various NPCs, we do get a little bit of background on the story and stuff. Prince Gordon of Cashion is hiding here in Altair. Something's made him lose faith in himself. I suppose so. And up here we have our first treasure chest. So to go up to it, just press it and we get a potion. So a potion is an item that recovers 30 hit points, I think it is. At least in the first game, that's what it was. Although, to say the truth, in the first game they were called pure potions, I believe. That's the way out. And I believe with thingy death in this place we have, so yeah, let's carry on our way then. So, looks like we have to find this Prince Gordon, it seems like. And of course, welcome to Fynn? No, welcome to Altair, that's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, come here. Now, Paul, the legendary thief. He appeared with coffers to get my purse broken with kill. Let's learn. I never steal from the rebels. I'm from Fynn too, but I have to flee for the Empire. Yep. Okay, so we have a set number of shops here. So we have the inn here. Inns recover MP and HP. HP standing for hit points and MP standing for magic points. I think it's 1 gil per whatever's been lost. Again, we'll go over things in detail in a second. We have an item shop there. So like the potion, for example, we picked up. Good armor shop, indicated by the shield. We have a weapon shop, indicated by the sword there. And I believe if we go up here, I think, yes, we have a white magic shop, which is magics that or spells that deal with healing and curing status effects. And I believe that the black magic shop should be up here, I think. Or is that the only place? Come on, where's the black magic shop? Actually, I think it's both, is it? I think it might be both. Right, well anyway, I guess we'll go over the, let's go over the character stuff. So, by pressing select on your NES controller, or whatever's hotkeeyed on your emulator, we actually are able to put people into different rows. So in battle, as you noticed, we can put people in the front row or the back row. There is a massive advantage to doing this. First of all, by putting people in the front row, your attack power is retained at 100%, but in exchange, you take 100% of the damage received as well. If you put somebody in the back row, your attack power in melee, which I mean, you know, in the front row, 100% of your attack power, but in the back row with your melee attack power is reduced by 50%. Also, any damage you receive as well is reduced to 50%. The only things that bypass this is long-range weaponry and spells, and it is very important to put people in the back row. Going into the actual stats menu, as you can see, we have our three characters. We have Furion, Barrier, and Guy. That's going to bug me now that I put Furion in full caps, but something I can overlook. So as you can see, we have hit points and MP. Hit points, 30 out of 30 Furion, magic points 5 out of 5. Going over to the stats, each character has wrong button. Going into the stats, each character has a set amount of stats. Think of this as the character sheets. We have 5 primary stats. We have strength, agility, stamina, intelligence, and spirit. Strength is dictated about how hard or how much damage you can do with your melee attacks. Agility is how much speed you can accumulate in battle, meaning like where you act in terms of the initiation order of who takes their actions in one turn. Stamina influences the amount of hit points you can get. Spirit is related to your magical defense, and I believe is also related to the power and accuracy of white magic spells. And intellect involves the damage that you can do through black magic spells. So we're talking like elemental spells like fire, lightning, ice, those kind of spells, and influences the accuracy of certain debuff spells as well. Also, you may notice that where it says right-handed, that's a little thing in a second. Attack, I believe, is related to the attack power that you currently have. The formula is always like attack power times strength normally. Something along the lines of that. It's like attack power times strength and then another modifier in some cases, I don't really remember. Accuracy is your accuracy of your attack. Defense is your defense points of your current armor that you're wearing. Evasion is how many attacks you can evade and at what percentage. So in this case, we have a 14% chance to evade one attack. We'll talk about attack modifiers and everything later down the line. That's a whole different clusterfuck of things. And of course, we have magic power and magic resist. 22% to resist a casting of one spell. Again, spells have attack modifiers as well. And then finally, down below, we have weapon skills. We have that in starting from the top next to weapon skill on the left hand side, we have daggers, swords, and then going to the left hand side again, we have unarmed, canes, axes, shields, spears, and bows. So to a degree, you can customize your character however you want. In terms of the weapon skills themselves, weapon skills are very important because they also apply calculations regarding accuracy, attack modifiers as well, meaning that if you press the attack button, it's how many hits that person makes in one attack. They can do 2 hits, 3 hits, doubly, tripling your damage. Also as well, each weapon class has its own unique little quirks and stuff. So yeah, basically there is a website I'm going to put down in the description below that will explain everything in detail basically, but each character you can, this is the beauty of Final Fantasy II, each character you can carve out a path however you want. If you want to make Furion into a mage, you can. If you want to make Furion into a fighter, you can. If you want to make him into a long-range fighter with bows and light armor, for example, this game has it all. It really is. But its difficulty comes into understanding the mechanics, because there's a lot of things in this game that can confuse you and will rip you apart if you're not careful. Again, I don't know all these by heart. I'm learning as I'm playing this. So, in terms of Furion, let's explain about one little important thing. because I learned about this the other day. Now, my recollection with Final Fantasy II is that I remember the encounter rate being A, very high, and B, the ambush rate being very high as well. You see, when you go into a battle across the Final Fantasy series, there was a little thing called the initiative mechanic. Now, if a party's overall agility, is higher than the enemy's collective by a certain amount, what happens is you're able to get a free turn of attacks. Like 1 round of free actions before the enemy's act, and vice versa. If yours is lower than the enemy's average, they will take 1 full turn of attacks or whatever before you can act. In Final Fantasy II, for the most part, the ambush rate for them having a free round of actions was a lot higher than any other Final Fantasy put together. And this is what turned off a lot of people, and this is what turned up the difficulty by max. And for the longest point, a lot of people could not focus to why. A lot of people thought it was a bug. But apparently, according to a post that I found on the internet somewhere, I can't remember where it was, I think it was on GameFAQs or something, apparently all this is tied to one person's agility stat. It's not calculated against all parties, no, it's calculated to Therian's agility. If Therian's agility is higher than the enemy's average, your chances of getting a initiative, like a first strike, to get a full free round of actions is a lot higher. So, it has been recommended by a lot of people to make Therian into an agility-based character, or an agility-focused character. So for that, we're going to make Therian into, I guess to some degree, a light fighter / fencer. So to do that, what we're going to do is, in this game, there's 3 different armor types. There's robes, light armor, and heavy armor. Robes have literally 0 to no armor, but they're good for magic users, because I'm going to talk about something in a minute. Light armor is something, normally you know it's light armor by something called something cuirass, C-U-I-R-A-S-S, I think it is. It's a type of like body armor that's worn without any of like the extra stuff added to it. It's basically like, you know, just like a chest plate or something like that, but without all the extra heavy plates. Basically it's like light armor, that's what they class as light armor. And then you've got heavy armor, which is other stuff, like it would normally be like something armor or whatever. And this has the highest defense stats. Now, the one thing that separates the 3 of them is something called magic penalty. Now, the magical penalty is an accumulative stat that comes from the equipment that you wear that can affect the accuracy and the power of your spells. So for example, if you want to make a pure mage, you don't want to equip them with heavy armor. The reason for that is because their magical penalty might come up to like 60%, so the spells that they cast will be at 40% efficiency. So that's something we don't want to do, so of course we want to wear robes for our mages. Light armor has the best of both worlds. It has a subpar magical penalty, but even though it has medium armor protection, it also has the greatest evasion stat as well. You see, the difference between heavy armor and light armor is that heavy armor will have the highest defense stat, but will also have a very high magical penalty and a very, very high evasion penalty as well. So the whole trick is to have somebody in full armor, shields and whatnot, put them to the front and just let them get whack after whack after whack. Is this a good thing? Yes, because this also improves certain stats. But us, we want to evade as many attacks as possible, because the way this game works is, which I'll demonstrate in a battle in a second, depending on what actions you take in combat can give you a stat boost. You see, there is no experience leveling system in this game. There's no experience leveling. There's no level system. Everything comes from stat development. So, depending on what a character does, they have a chance to improve a stat. So for example, if we were to take the attack action, there's a chance that we can gain a point in strength. And the more we attack, the more points of strength we accumulate, meaning we can hit harder and stuff like that. Same goes for stamina. The more attacks that we take, the higher our stamina goes up, so it means more hit points. Which again, I'll explain how to increase all our stats when we get into actual combat. So for us, we want to increase his agility as much as we possibly can, and to do that, we have to evade attacks. So for us, we're looking at light armor, and we're looking at shields. Shields offer the greatest evasion stat in the game, something like 20% evasion. So, if we get our weapon skill, if we get our shield skill up, and evade as many attacks as possible, that's going to increase our agility over time. Now, going down to here, as you notice here, there is a 1 and 2 zeros. The number on the left hand side, if my mouse is coming up on the emulator, I'm not entirely too sure, basically that is the weapon's level. And to the side, where it says 00, that is the experience counter for that level. So once somebody has 100 experience points in that weapon skill, that will become a 2, and then it carries on, and then it rotates back to 00, and it keeps going up to a maximum of level 14 or 15, I believe. So there is a lot of stuff we can do here. So yeah, so for Therian, again, we're going to make him a light fighter or a fencer, and we're going to go swords, because swords have the best balance between strength, agility, and there's actually some swords that have special effects that can proper destroy bosses, so that's what we want for him. So swords, light armor, shields. I'm going to give him a little bit of white magic as well. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm going to give him a little bit of white magic, as well to act as a healer off out of battles, just to top people up. But for the most part, that's what Therian's going to be. Now, going over to Maria. As you see, Therian has 10 all stats. Maria has a 15 in agility and a 15 in intelligence. Maria makes for a very good black mage, and that's what we're going to be doing. Maria is the go-to black mage for a lot of people, just because of her already high intellect, coming at 15. Other than that, her stats are pretty mediocre at best. She's not an attacker, she's best as a supporter, but you can still make her an attacker if you want. But yeah, making her into a black mage is what we want to do. Now, in terms of her equipment, we're actually not going to give her any armor, because when I mentioned about robes being the best for magic users, yes, if you want a bit of defense, that is true. However, robes have an innate 5% magic penalty, so that makes her magic effectiveness, basically 95%, which isn't too bad. But when we incorporate a weapon into her thingies, that will increase to a further 90, or even an 85. So what we want to do is we want to keep her at the back row, no armor whatsoever, and we want to give her canes. Canes will increase her intellect, and I believe some other stats as well, and I believe also gives her a little bit of a boost to certain spells as well. So having a high cane stat is exactly what we want. So we're going to do that, and we're going to make her into a black mage. So basically give her all the black magics and just let her do what we want to do. Now, regarding Guy. Now, Guy is hands down supposed to be the fighter of the group, the heavy weapon fighter, basically the guy who's the big brute. That's what we want to do. However, I think for Guy, what we're going to do is, and I'm going to borrow this from, I had a couple of ideas of what I was going to do with Guy. And I think for Guy, I'm going to make him... See, we do need a white mage, so we're going to make Guy into some sort of a paladin to a degree. And this is where we need to think. We need to think of a weapon group that will fit him. He's got high strength already, he's got high stamina, he's got 10 intelligence, 10 spirit. So, we can either go swords again if we want to, but I'm thinking of going daggers with him. We're going to go light armor and we're going to go daggers. You see, for a white mage, magical penalty is not that big of a deal, because the only thing that magical penalty will affect is accuracy and I think some kind of damage formula, but we're going to be using him for healing and for status removal, so I don't think magical penalty would be that big of a deal. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go for daggers just to do something different, and there's actually a dagger that I want to get later on down the line that's actually going to do a lot of damage. I'm pretty sure some people will know exactly what I'm on about. The Ripper Dagger. And to anyone that is thinking, yes, to anyone that knows the Ripper bug, it's been fixed in the restored hack. So that's why I want to use daggers. So for him, we're going to be using daggers. I'm going to be using light armor. So let's start doing a little bit of shopping. As you notice, we have 400. Gil. So let's do a little bit of shopping. I think that does work. Okay, so let's see here then. What can I do for you? Bye. Okay, so here at this we have a buckler, leather helmet, clothes, and the leather gloves. Now, all this will offer some kind of defense. However, the one we want is we want a buckler. Yeah, so we want a buckler here. I think we're okay for clothes. Actually, what's our equipment? What's our base equipment like already? That's a good question. So each character has access to a weapon slot, well, basically a right-hand slot, a left-hand slot, head, hands, and basically I think it's like 4 item slots I think they get handed to. So we have a buckler and we have a broadsword already, which is pretty nice. That's just a waste of money actually, if you realize about that. Rhea's got a bow, we've got clothes. And Guy has an axe. Alright, we want to get rid of the axe. Oh, what are we doing? Come on. Guy, please get rid of the axe. There we go. That's how we do it. And Maria, we want to get rid of the bow as well. Now, I believe certain weapons uses different stats. I think the sword uses both strength and agility for its what's wrong way? It uses both strength and agility for its damage calculations. I believe axes uses strength and stamina, I believe. And I believe bows uses agility, I believe. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to buy 2 knives. I'm going to sell that buckler, by the way. I'm going to sell the bow. I'm going to sell the axe. And we want to buy a staff for Maria. That's what we want to do. So, nope. Wrong button. I need to get used to this. Emulator. It's been a while since I've used it. And then we're going to remove our clothes, get naked. Yuck, 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 yuck. And then for Guy, we want to go with 2 knives. Now, you can have up to 2 weapons at the same time, as you can see. So, as you can see, by equipping 2 knives, our attack power went from 10... Oh, damn it, it's going to take me a while. So, our attack power went from 10 to 6. Now, in this game, they don't accumulate 2-weapon fighting until the next game. There's a bit of a bug with that. Now, I do believe that I've read up that... Because the reason why, and here's the thing. The reason why is because in the original Final Fantasy II, not the hack, there was a bug where basically the game would not calculate whatever weapon was in the offhand as part of the damage. So it would just be right hand only. But there is a reason why you want to have a weapon in your left hand. That is because by having 2 weapons of the same category, there was a bit of a mechanic where the weapon skill experience you would get would go from a 1 times to a 1.5 times, I believe, or even a 2, something like that. It would double up the weapon, your weapon skill. So that's what we want to do. Okay, so that's done. So talk to you. I'm just a bouncy old man. Where am I? I'm Torvald, the best blacksmith around. Blacksmith, right? We'll also remember that. We'll also remember him for the future. That's my timer, but we're not quite finished yet. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate a battle. Yes, I am, so we're going to go this way. I think what I'm going to do is we're going to drop a quick save. And then we can explain how things work. Oh, we can also save in the world map. Okay, that makes sense. But before I do that, I need to find the black magic shop. Whatever the hell it is. This ain't the black magic shop, is it? No, it's like a crystal or something. Okay, so is this just the magic shop in general? Because I wouldn't mind picking up the fire spells to get started, actually. Yes, I think it is. Yes, it is. Oh, we don't have enough. Oh, we do not have enough. Okay, I'm going to have to save up for it. I'm going to have to save up for it, damn it. So yeah, so basically, we have access to Cure, Blizzard, Lightning, and we get the Cure spells there. I want to pick up the Cure spell for Guy, and I want to pick up the, at least, I think the Lightning spell for Maria, I think. Okay, so we're on the world map here. And if there's one thing I love the overworld, or the main, or the world map music in this game. Absolutely beautiful. Okay, so let's get into a fight. Okay, so we have two Hornets. I don't remember if these guys are hard or not, but we'll see in a second. Okay, so when it comes to battles, the self-development system. To gain hit points, you gain stat deployments at the end of a fight. And it depends on what your last action was taken. And that's per character, by the way, not just you in general. So for example, if Fynn had the attack action as his last action, you could have a chance to gain a point of strength. If Maria's last action was the lightning spell, there was a chance that she gained a point of intelligence and gain some experience to leveling up the lightning spell. And if Guy's last action was the attack, he gained a point of strength that way. To gain hit points, the overall total hit points left at the end of a fight must be less than 80% to gain hit points. And it's something like equal to your stamina plus something. To gain magic points, it has to be 80% as well. And I think we could take the defense action, I think? I'm sure we could take the defense action or something. I can't really remember. But basically that's it. So let's get stuck in. We're going to attack. Yeah, basically we're just going to go all in attack. Okay, so Hornet missed. Not effective because we're in the back row. One hit, very nice. Hornet fell. Not effective. That's because it's a miss. When it says it's not effective, that means it's a miss. Why is it not effective? I don't remember. The venom, that's the poison status. Missed. Interesting. God, he's getting hit him, isn't he? There we go, 16 HP. Critical hit. So, because we won, 37 gil found, Guy's stamina up, so he gained some stamina. Which, odd they didn't gain HP. Very odd. That should be less than 80, right? Should be, but basically gained a stamina. I'll have to check the notes to see if they changed the leveling up system. The stat development system, I guess, I don't know. But yeah, basically, that is the start of Final Fantasy II. And periodically as well, as you see... Oh, went away. But yeah, periodically you can see that airship flying around as well. Okay, right, well, like I said, that is the start of Final Fantasy II, so... Yeah, I have a lot to explain. I mean... I don't think I did a good job explaining all that, to tell you the truth, because, you know, it's been a long time since I've last played this myself, and it's been a long time since I've last watched anybody play this. I mean, I might have started off wrong. I'll look into my choices to see if there's any, like, alterations I need to make, and then I'll proper read the notes off screen as well, but, you know, I just want to get an episode started of this series, and I want to get it started soon, so, yeah. This should be a pretty fun adventure. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Links down below, check them out if you wish. Apart from that, enjoy the rest of your awesome day. I'll see you next time. Take care.